Hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. As always, it is Nick here, back to your daily crypto news and analysis. And today we're going to be talking about Ripple and XRP, as well as the vast majority of crypto and finance. And let's just dive in and let's get right into it. So, one of the biggest discussions around crypto in the last couple weeks, again, I mentioned 2 weeks ago, I started talking about this company because there's a lot of suspicious things happening around this company. It was very sketchy on how they got their SEC approval. And here's a video that Crypto Airy posted. And what do you see? It's very clear what Gensler is up to. Prometheum co-CEO Aaron Kaplan, the first company approved by the SEC and FINRA as a special purpose broker-dealer. This is what's coming. It's not a matter of if, but when. And this is from Eleanor Tourette. This is from Blockhash Podcast. Listen closely to this video. I know it's about 4 minutes long. I know it's a little bit of a wait, but listen closely. And I want to discuss what's happening right now around crypto from this video.
That's how I initially got into the business, to try to, quote unquote, regulate Bitcoin, which is such an absurd thing to say. If you follow Chairman Gensler, and I'm sorry if this goes too much into regulatory stuff, but Chairman Gensler from the SEC has basically said that in his last big, interview, wherever it was, said that crypto exchanges should be registered under securities laws, that they're trading securities, and that basically, if you read through the lines, given that he's a very capable and focused man, I don't know if a reckoning's coming, but there's going to be a point in time when there's an official designation. And when that occurs, it's going to be difficult for the major crypto exchanges in the United States who aren't registered under securities laws or registered as money service bureaus with money transmitter licensure to be as active in the space and to list as many assets. Given what I mentioned before about the chairman's comments that a lot of securities are trading on crypto exchanges, I think they provide those specific, classification or those grouping of assets, which is a lot of assets. It's not a few, right? Those provide a good source of potential listable assets on our ATS. It might be a situation where the major exchanges will have to partner with the ATSs, such that they have some sort of arrangement where they can give their clients access to it. This is what's coming. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when now. I think that this is going to be a big thing, even though it won't seem like a big thing. And that when it happens, you'll have the first time where digital assets are actually trading on a registered public infrastructure that allows the retail trading public to participate. Like, one thing we really haven't mentioned is that depending on the reports you read, there's trillions of dollars. I saw one number as high as $100 trillion, which that's absurd in my mind, waiting on the sidelines to be able to participate. It's very hard for what I would call a securities house, which is like a European term, but let's say a securities regulated institution, to integrate with a crypto exchange. But it's not difficult for a securities regulated institution to integrate with another securities house like Prometheum. And the way we've built our system is basically meant to allow traditional Wall Street, the legacy systems, to integrate and to allow their clients the ability to trade digital assets through their existing accounts. And the idea there is to integrate it such that it's seamless and people can, through their existing Schwab account or whatever the like, can then trade whatever digital assets they want. And I think that's how you sort of breach that potential trillions of dollars of pent-up capital that's trying to participate in the space.
Right. China knows exactly what they're doing. They want a firm grip over that industry within China. So yeah, you see all these bans and everything and whatnot they do like every year or 2 years on Bitcoin. But I mean, in the end, they're heavily promoting and allowing innovation for blockchain within certain bounds. And they just want a centralized, governing body to control it. And they want to make money off of it. They want to integrate it with their system. If they didn't believe in it, they wouldn't be creating a CBDC or wouldn't have created a CBDC.
And they made all the money in the beginning.
Yep.
They're the ones
that's
who
just
were
how they roll.
like 50+% of the mining was there, like all the validation, like, and who could criticize? You can criticize. That's what a proactive government should do. But yeah, no, I get it. I get it.
So yeah, I mean, this is exactly why this company that came out of nowhere, got this approval. It's just to hand all the control and all the power to Wall Street and their Wall Street buddies so that they can make all the money. It's very clear. This is what we've been arguing for so long on this channel as well. It's complete nonsense, right? Like, you know, if you go back and look what's been happening around this market in the last couple of weeks and months, we've been arguing so much about, you know, this nonsense campaign that the SEC has been going on about, especially with a lot of like Congress members like Brad Sherman, who is extremely anti-crypto. He's saying that he hopes that crypto goes to zero, that it fails, and blah blah blah. That's not good for the U.S. This is a pro-banker, right? Like, this is a guy who got paid off by big bankers on his campaign. He went from $4 million in net worth to $17 million in net worth in less than 10 years. I mean, listen, these people are so corrupt, and this is all by plan. This is all by plan. Here we have Prometheum CEO Aaron Kaplan predicts Ripple loss. He sure does invoke Gensler / the SEC and what he thinks they are thinking and doing a lot. Reminds me of the way Joseph Lubin talked before ETHgate was uncovered. And again, like, you know, a lot of people think that this case is done. And I'll get to that here in a second in this video. But the way that I look at this, like, this could go either way still. A lot of people think that the win is it's so clear in sight that there's no way that Ripple loses. I want you guys to understand that we should prepare for anything, because who knows what the SEC has up their sleeve. This is an agency that has been hemorrhaging corruption and manipulation for years now. But listen closely to this video. It's about 1 minute and 40 seconds long, and then I will talk a little bit more about what's happening.
I anticipate the SEC will win this case, as really every indication points to a decision in the commission's favor. Just in November, a very similar case came about, which we mentioned before, with Library in the United States District Court for the District of New Hampshire. And in that case, the court ruled that a blockchain-based file sharing network called Library violated securities laws by selling its tokens without registering with the SEC. The facts are very similar in this SEC Ripple case, so I expect a similar outcome from the Southern District of New York.
Okay, so let's assume the SEC wins, because they always seem to win. How many other people are they gonna sue? Like, I feel like they're making their point, and you said anecdotally, you know, in your view, 99.9% of all the cryptocurrencies are securities. I mean, at a certain point, you can't just sue everybody, can you?
So I think there has to be you have to separate the different elements of this. I don't necessarily think the SEC is going to go after every issuer, every token issuer. I do think that there'll be a lot more attention paid to intermediaries, the virtual currency exchanges, the custodians, because that's where we've seen these centralized points of failure. Obviously, that's what happened, at least abstractly, with FTX, and it's what happened with other institutions. So I think what's really necessary as a first step and a major step forward is for the industry, particularly the intermediaries, to come register under the federal securities laws. And Chairman Gensler has said that virtual currency exchanges should register under the securities laws, which would mean that they would either have to become ATSs or exchanges. And I think that's a major step forward.
And what he just said there is 100% the reason why you need to cold storage your crypto. Because what I believe is going to happen is we are going to see a crypto wipeout. This is not me fear mongering. I believe that what we will see is a wipeout of all of the cryptocurrencies in the space that are providing absolute zero utility and value. What we will see is a very small percentage of cryptocurrencies that are still here, that are providing utility and value. I've talked about this many times on this channel, right? A regulatory rug pull of the system, if you will. But also exchanges. I believe that we will see an exchange wipeout very similar to the cryptocurrencies as well. And almost every exchange will be targeted at some point in time. That's why we are seeing Coinbase and Binance being targeted. It's why we've seen so many cryptocurrencies actually move outside of the US, and they all utilize FTX as an example. It's so clear to me that this individual here, Aaron Kaplan, is an SEC puppet. The company, Prometheum, in my opinion, was an SEC psyop. So if we actually look at this, I believe that there's a lot of truth being told here, and I think that there's a lot of information that has been given to these individuals ahead of time. Now, I don't know if we will see a Ripple loss. I don't know if we will see a Ripple win. It's still 50-50. We have no idea. We need to be patient on that. But there's been so much information coming out. Shout out to Cowboy Crypto. He's been DMing me a lot of information around Prometheum. There's so many investments here around BlackRock with Prometheum partners, as well as Consensus. All of this, in my opinion, right? Look at this. iCapital Network, Blackstone, Apollo, BNY, Citi, Credit Suisse, Goldman Sachs. So many major players here. It is so clear what is happening here, and a lot of these players are tied right back to the SEC as well. Again, this has been their plan for so long, is to give all of the power to Wall Street. They want Wall Street to be the custodians of crypto. They don't want exchanges to be the ones that are the custodian players. Can you see it clearly now? This is what we have been warning about for so long. Over here from 24 Hours Crypto. How do people not see this? BlackRock they're close to filing for Bitcoin ETF application. And guess what? BlackRock will be using Coinbase, Coin Custody, for the ETF and the crypto exchange's spot market data for pricing. The SEC is slowing down on the markets so their friends can come in. And yes, this has been the plan all along. They want Wall Street and the big Wall Street players in on this game. They want them to get rich off of the backs of the retail sector. And I do believe that this BlackRock ETF will most likely, now I'm not too sure if this is going to be, the 100% guarantee happening event, but I believe that this BlackRock ETF was, again, a pre-planned thing to get it to go through this application process, get denied, the market collapses, and then all of a sudden, they scoop in and buy up a large portion of this market. It's the same thing that we see all the time on this bullish news. And I even said it in a video recently where I was talking about the BlackRock situation. I said, we always see these lagging factors where, BlackRock files for an ETF. Okay, everyone thinks that they're going to get the green light because it's BlackRock. But guess what? What if they don't get the green light? The market will react accordingly. They will jump in, buy up the coins. It's the same thing that we seen with JP Morgan when they were, fudding Bitcoin and fudding crypto. But guess what they were doing? Oh yeah, that's right. They were buying it up. And also, over here from Jake Chervinsky, this is from the Chief Policy Officer at Blockchain Association. They sent an FOIA request to the SEC seeking documents relating to its dealings with Prometheum. This whole story, Prometheum's ATS, its CEO's testimony in Congress, makes no sense. Something fishy is going on here, MT Koppel, and I will get to the bottom of it. And yes, I think that this is huge. I think that we need to see something around this because there's been a lot of sketchy things coming out now with Prometheum. I said it 2 weeks ago. I warned you guys 2 weeks ago that this was a very sketchy approval from the SEC, and it's all by plan. This is their plan. Everything that the SEC has been doing for the last 2.5 years now, ever since this XRP lawsuit, and I would argue even before the XRP lawsuit as well, it's all been to give control of this market to Wall Street, make sure that the Wall Street buddies can get in on this game. And I honestly think that what they want to do with Prometheum is have these centralized ATSs being the key custodians of this market. That way, that BlackRock and all of these centralized entities as well around the traditional banking sector and the Wall Street players can all have a slice of the pie and enrich themselves like they always do. While guess what? Retail gets screwed the entire way through. It is a big issue. This is why I say cold storage your crypto. A lot of people don't like Ledger right now. That's totally fine. You can get a DCENT wallet. I have both links down in the description below. I utilize both of them. I still use Ledger today because, again, I just don't see the worry with Ledger. As long as you keep it offline, right? Like, don't connect it to your phone. Don't have any of that. Like, connect it to a computer that you don't use at all. Like, I have all my stuff disconnected from the internet, essentially, because I don't trust any of it. So all my cold storage, it's completely offline. I have it secured. I have it stored somewhere safe. Everyone should make sure that they are cold storing their crypto and not holding anything on exchanges. So also, with that in mind, there's been a lot of things happening around what Brad Garlinghouse has been saying with the SEC as well. A lot of people have been saying that the XRP lawsuit is ending soon. Here we have from Brad Garlinghouse, trying something new. Some thoughts from me on the event, specifically the release of the Hinman documents of this week. For me, this has all had a personal bent to it and felt like it warranted some personal comments. Listen closely to this. It's about 4 minutes long, and then I will wrap this video up.
Hi, I'm Brad Garlinghouse. As many of you know, I don't often make videos like this, but then again, not every week has been like this one. A few days ago, after 2 years, 7 court orders, and over $100 million in legal bills, the Hinman speech documents, including internal SEC emails and comments leading up to this now infamous 2018 speech, they've finally been unsealed. Hinman's speech created new factors to determine if a token becomes sufficiently decentralized to no longer be considered a security. At best, these documents show that senior officials at the SEC couldn't agree on the law and told Bill Hinman directly he would confuse the public even more about the rules for crypto. At worst, they show that Hinman deliberately ignored the law, and he tried to create new laws, something only Congress can do. And while he was a public servant, Hinman received millions of dollars of payments from his law firm, which was part of an alliance with others that had a vested interest in this speech. This speech isn't about any one token or any one blockchain. This is about showing the extent to which the SEC has relentlessly pursued enforcement actions against crypto players while professing fake open arms and calls to come in and register, all the while lying about their so-called guidance. As some of you may know, Ripple spent years proactively engaging with the SEC. I personally met with Jay Clayton and Bill Hinman, with no lawyer present. Why would I need a lawyer if we were all coming together in good faith? We answered every question they had, and not once did they suggest to me that XRP was a security. We were fully transparent, not knowing they would then use this information against us. The SEC hit us with a surprise Wells notice, saying they were considering suing us for breaking securities laws and still refused to provide specifics. To those that have recently been hit with their own Wells notices and lawsuits, this likely sounds all too familiar. When the lawsuit did drop against us, days before Christmas, a very Grinch-like touch, they made it personal. They sued Chris Larson and they sued myself, alleging we should have known all along that XRP was a security. You can now see plain as day, they couldn't even agree amongst themselves. And to me, it still seems like they can't. What we saw play out in our case is exactly what's still happening. The SEC is looking to kill crypto innovation in the United States, and its current chair, an unelected bureaucrat, I might add, is weaponizing the lack of regulatory clarity to exert jurisdiction over the entire crypto space. This is the definition of putting politics over people. It's the pursuit of power over sound policy. The SEC tried to bully us into acquiescing. Thankfully, we have had the resources to fight back. And now we can all see what they've fought so hard to hide. They knowingly created confusion about the rules, and they used that confusion to regulate through enforcement. That's bad faith, plain and simple. Ultimately, as our lawsuit comes to a close, for so many others, it's just starting. The fight for clarity has to continue. I just want to conclude by saying to my colleagues here at Ripple, to my family, my friends, everyone who has supported us over the past 2.5 years, and certainly to the whole of the XRP army, a very heartfelt and a very genuine thank you for that support.
So yeah, with this, a lot of people thought that the case was coming to an end with this video. I don't necessarily know if that's going to be the case. There was a lot of quotes within this that, you know, a few people picked up on. But again, a lot of people are looking into Brad Garlinghouse's likes, for an example, Cowboy Crypto. And Brad Garlinghouse liked these two tweets, which is, it's fully briefed and awaiting a ruling. That's when a case is winding down. The case is fully briefed and awaiting a ruling. That is the case coming to a close. And I even tweeted out, I said, you know, the Ripple case will not provide clarity for the entire crypto industry. This regulatory battle will continue for months/years. XRP will be the only asset to have clarity. But what about the rest of the market? We have a long journey ahead for crypto and crypto innovation. And although, like, listen, if XRP win, or I shouldn't say if XRP, if Ripple wins, then yes, XRP will be the only asset to have regulatory clarity. But what if Ripple loses? We still have to take that into accountability, because it's a possibility. And I'm not saying that they're going to. I'm just saying that we cannot have our eyes set on just one thing, right? We can't go all in on one decision, because it's a 50-50 decision here. We have to wait. I do think a finale is coming to a close, but you know, we could still very well be months away from a decision. Please note that it's not going to happen, you know, immediately. It can happen at any time, but I still think that we're some time away with this decision. Let me know what you guys think, though, down in the comments below. I'd love to hear your thoughts. With that being said, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe, turn notifications on, because more free content. You guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord down in the description below. So that you all have a beautiful day or a beautiful night. Wherever you guys are on this world, that's been Nick. Peace out, guys.